name is Bill, and I do a fair amount of stuff here. I do the tarantulas, I maintain the roach colonies, I work with our bigger snakes that we have off the sales floor. And then the snake room is just mainly snakes that we're either boarding or are long-term breeders or babies that are getting ready, that I try to get feeding properly and stuff before, we sell them. Think of what else I do. I just a little bit of everything. I don't do sales. I started in March of 2007, so I was here I think a month before the 1 year anniversary. So in March it'll be 15 years that I've been here. Yes, I'm one of the originals. Actually, I think they had a few other first employees, but they didn't stay very long. Because when I started, it was mainly just Matt and Stefan. They would be here from 9 a.m. till 9 at night, sometimes later, sometimes earlier. And they hired me, I guess, because of my experience, because I've been working with exotic animals most of my life, specifically reptiles and stuff like that. Well, the only pets I really have right now are, I got the pair of ocellated Uromastyx, which Skeeterbuck and the female, I haven't named her. There's videos of Skeeterbuck on our YouTube channel and stuff like that. So, and he's he is the last Euro that I have when I used to breed Euros, and he'll be 18 years old this July. So I've had him for all his life. But right now I don't really have a whole lot, just because I work with so many animals here that going home and doing them, my hobby became like a job, so I just kind of slowly got rid of animals that I did have. I bred Euros in the past. I did dart frogs, pretty much, different types of snakes, tarantulas. I still have a few tarantulas, a few scorpions. I do have a few ball pythons. This is one of them. This is one of my big female spiders. She's getting ready to go into shed, so she's kind of being funny. But she's like almost 4,000 grams, so I haven't decided what I'm going to breed her with yet. But I do a few ball pythons. I don't get crazy into it, but just a few just to see what I can produce. Nothing expensive, just some of the more common ones. And then, like I said, tarantulas, few Euros, Uromastyx, and I guess that's about it. I would say one of my favorites, we don't have her no more, was Lola. But like our breeder blood pythons, they're fairly mellow for being blood pythons, so those are one of my favorites. Slinky, our male green tree python, he used to be one of our breeders when we used to breed green tree pythons, and he's just to look at. He bites, so we don't really hold him very much. I don't know, there's quite a few of them. I like Chewy, the Mali Uromastic, and then there's been some over the past that we no longer have, or ended up either selling or just them passing away of older age and stuff like that. Mainly like the reptiles and arachnids. I do like fish. I don't have any fish right now, but I do like them. I used to have quite a few isopods. I still have a few of the higher dollar isopod cultures, like the rubber ducks and some of those Cubaris species. Other than that, I am kind of limited right now as far as personal stuff, just because I do so much stuff here. Well, working with animals that I probably would never have bought or worked with myself, and the people here are really nice. It's kind of like a family type thing, I guess you would say, especially like some of the people that have been here for a while. But for the most part, I get along with everybody. Matt and Stephanie have helped me out in the past quite a bit in some of my circumstances that I've been in. There's actually a few. The one that I remember probably one of the most was when me and Matt kind of got into it. This is like way back in the beginning. But we kind of got into it, arguing, and he was so pissed off at me. He ended up breaking his windshield in his car. So that was one of them. I don't know. There's quite a few, and trying to remember specific ones is kind of hard sometimes. But just that was one, and then actually spraying myself in the eyes with hand sanitizer. That happened this morning. I went to use hand sanitizer after messing with rodents to get snakes out for feeding, the bigger snakes. And I don't really want like 6-7 foot blood pythons thinking I'm a rat and grabbing onto me. So when I went to use it, apparently it was kind of clogged, and instead of like squirting into my hand, it sprayed both my eyes, and it was not fun. So don't put hand sanitizer in your eyes, children. Well, when I was younger, I used to breed a lot of fish. I had a whole bunch of fish tanks at my house. My parents were pretty cool. Their rule was you can keep whatever you want as long as it doesn't get loose. So it was on. So I used to do a lot of collecting when I was younger, and I would trade. We're talking like this is quite a while ago, but I would collect and I would trade stuff to local pet shops for exotic stuff. That's back when it was illegal. It's not so much that way anymore. And then I bred Uromastyx for quite a few years. Worked with 7 species, bred 5 of those. And there's some of those species that are not even in the country no more. And then some tarantula breeding projects, the dart frog breeding projects I did for a few years. I would do things for a while, and I would kind of get not necessarily bored with it, but would transition to other things. And I did isopods for a while, scorpions, tarantulas, said that before. Oh, I worked with endangered pythons before, where I had to get the federal permits. Those were the Indian pythons. That was back in the 80s. I used to be real big into like the Missouri Herp Society, and in that we did like international herp symposiums, and I got to meet a lot of well-known people from around the world. One guy that I met and got to know for pretty much a little bit, his name was Ram Whitaker. He's the guy that does the Croc Bank in India, and we were going to do a breeding project with the Indian pythons and stuff, but things transpired and that never happened. Some people from the Switzerland Zoo, a lot of people from the St. Louis Zoo in the past. So I was pretty much in, the higher levels of, the reptile breeding, mainly for, not necessarily for profit, but for propagation of endangered or rare species and stuff like that.